Yeah, it's thanks to you guys. Thanks to you guys for asking the question, and obviously it was big on the social media side, which I'd probably need to pay more attention to clearly. But Anthony also mentioned it to me, and he knew it was a big topic. So I saw him on Friday before training, and he talked to the owner at Cricket, and within 30 minutes, we had some green shirts down at the training center. So thanks to Hobson Brown and providing us with a couple shirts, but clearly the green will be sticking around for a little bit. But it was nice. It's not as breathable. It's not as breathable as the others.
Well, it's about the, we're going to get out of August soon, so you'll be all right. Just specifically about Cecilio, he clearly had a tough outing on Wednesday. It was a big talking point. Just how happy were you for him to have a performance and to kind of get on the board and kind of maybe put that behind him?
Yeah, I think again I said it the other day. I love Cecilio. I mean, I really do. He's a genuine human being first and foremost, and he knew he was in a bad place for that game, and he knew he performed poorly and was disappointed in himself, and he apologized to the team afterwards. But I also told him, look, man, we're here to help. So if you are feeling ill, or for any player, not just Cecilio, if you're having troubles throughout the day, speak to us. We can help provide guidance, and it also helps us understand where the player may be at, and for me as a coach to make a decision. But was ecstatic for him, and I knew he was in a good place. We talked about it for about 30 minutes a couple days ago, and I knew he was going to perform well. His mindset was in a good spot. Physically, he was recovered, and again tonight, I think the combinations, the collectiveness of the group in that first half was as good as we've seen, and he was a big part of it. Sebastian was incredibly good. Diego, all the whole group, Diego and Alex as well, and Danny Pereira performed well. Also put him in a little different spot, little different responsibility, but he's got that in him. He's got high potential, and we got to keep challenging him and pushing him. But really great collective effort.
Coach, next up, Chris Bills to the strike of Texas.
Yeah, Josh, I wanted to ask how you kind of got to where you did put Alex rank a little bit higher up and the effect that he thought that had on
Yeah.
the match tonight and just as well.
Well, I think again, I think we talk about the way we want to play and the positional aspect of it, and um, Alex and Sebastian are probably our two guys when you want to talk about turning in pockets and having you know competence and calm at being in tight spot. I mean, Sebastian's incredible, and Alex is pretty damn good too. And he spent his whole life as a six playing in between lines. So, um, and he's got a hunger to score goals, and he's got a a more attacking mind than he probably gets credit for. And he's told me I want to be further up the field and I want to score some goals. And he's done it on set pieces. So for us today, knowing a little bit what Portland was probably going to look like with a little bit of the structure change that they've made, we thought it set up really well. And a lot of that started with Matt and Julio and Danny navigating the first line, and then now the discipline, the positional discipline of Sebastian and Alex to play in those pockets and to break lines, to turn, and then have runners on the line ready to go behind. I mean, it was really nice to see, and I would have liked to see us score more goals. I always say that, but I think there were more there. But uh, again, the willingness to stick to the idea of what you mentioned it a while ago. Put Sebastian down lower. That's his position. We haven't had a striker, and we weren't sure where he was going to be at physically. So I think it's pretty clear to see he's a 10. And, Alex has full capabilities of playing 6, 8, 10. And, I think it's a nice compliment to one another. And again, I think Nikki came in and did a great job, and Z as well. But it doesn't happen if you don't have a collectiveness about you. And that's what I like the most about tonight.
You think, I guess, I know you still got to play Portland one more time, so I don't expect you to give it all away, but is there something about the way they set up that, or is it just a confidence thing where these guys knew that they already ripped them apart once, or is it a little bit of both?
I think that familiarity might help, but again, I think the guys came out. When I think of the first time we played them, the energy and the buzz in the stadium and these fans are phenomenal, man. I said it a while ago. We play in the best stadium, in front of the best fans, and we play the best football in Texas, and that's no doubt in my mind. And I think whether it's Portland or somebody else, we have to stick to what we're good at, keep our structure, our understanding of what we're trying to do, and obviously the opponents will have different setups, but Our guys are growing. We've had, certainly our lumps. We've taken our hits, but tonight was a good moment. The guys enjoyed themselves, and I think, we all saw that on the field, what it can look like when we operate at a high level. So it was good.
Thank you. Next up, Phil West.
Hey, thanks. Hey, Josh. Shirt looks good on you.
Thanks, Phil. You were the one driving this, Phil. I give you a lot of credit. I don't know if
It's
you
the fans.
you and Mark
I'm
you and
just,
Mark Turner.
guys,
You and Mark Turner. We gotta get you guys a shirt as well.
Yeah, I thought GT might get a little bit of a run out tonight. Obviously, you held back. Can you talk about just kind of his status, where he's at, where he might fit in?
Yeah. Well, he's trained with us for a couple days. So either way, we thought it was good to have him on the bench to experience it, see the stadium. Obviously, if there was an opportunity, and certainly I was thinking about doing it, but you can't take your foot off the gas, and we did a good job stabilizing in the second half, and I think we're still onboarding him with what we want to do and the way we want to play, and certainly the role of the striker defensively more so than offensively. I think it's pretty clear what you got to do as a striker. You got to score goals, but getting him up to speed with how we want to work. But in training, he's been good, man. He scores goals. He's got a quick release, got a heavy shot with both feet, and I love with him and Kakuta. They have such a good friendship already and chemistry when they're out there playing. It'll be nice. Kakuta's had a couple good weeks. He took a knock and missed some time, but I'm happy with where Moose is at. He's got to continue to progress. We'll hopefully get him some minutes in the coming games for sure.
Okay, great. And then just wanted to ask about Pochettino real quick. Was that a rotation thing to not start him, or?
Yeah, I think a little bit. I think it was a little bit of both. I think he put a ton of work into Salt Lake. He was absolutely shattered on Wednesday. He had to take himself off, which I appreciate when guys are tired and they're honest about it. He knew he was dying, and we brought him off. And similar to a while ago, I knew he was physically in a space where he was shot, and he put a lot into it. And he, even when he came in, he looked a little bit rusty at times, but was pushing for another goal, which was nice to see. But again, I think we have, with Alex coming in there and playing in the pocket, and certainly Sebastian playing in the pocket, I think it's clear to see when you have that structure and that positional discipline how effective it can be. So we'll continue to work with Tomas in different spots as well. But we really liked what we saw tonight.
Thank you. Next up, Zach Smith.
Hey, Coach, obviously you're feeling good, rightfully so. How do you keep these good vibes going? I mean, is this sustainable? Is this a sustainable feeling? And yeah, how do you keep it going?
I think it's you try not to get too high in the highs, and we've had 5 of them, I guess, but it's more about the performance and the way that we play, and you don't try to get too low when it's low. And obviously we've had enough lows, but it's a process. I mean, this is a unique experience coming in as a first year team, expansion team, with personnel, ideas, health. It all plays a role, but I think today more than anything there was a willingness and a discipline and a desire from our guys, and those are the words we talked about before the game. And when they put those things forward, you see a half like you saw in the first half. I mean, their willingness to play with each other, play for each other, the hunger to go get 1, 2, 3, 4 goals, and that's the mentality, and that's the potential that we have. But we got to be consistent, and we got to continue to come to work and try to get better every day. But I think week by week it's challenging, and we got to enjoy this moment. But we got a nice rivalry game in a week that we have some that we got to right some wrongs from previous game and get these guys into a place to perform. But I think mentally they'll be pretty pleased with this performance, and they get a little bit extra time to recover. So we'll build off of it for sure.
Thank you. Next up, Mark Turner.
Hey, Coach. Well, congratulations. First thing I want to say is I'm stuck in a hotel room here in Houston. My daughter has a tournament out here, so I'm in Houston for the weekend. So I'm delighted because I brought an Austin FC jersey with me, so now I get to lord it around Houston tomorrow. So
There you
thanks
go.
for that.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Good job. Good thinking.
Sebastian Driussi this evening was different class.
Mm-hmm.
In the lead up to his goal, you must have been purring with that move, that combination with himself, with Cecilio, with Andring, with Gallagher. That was just fantastic. Talk a little bit about Driussi's influence and what you saw this evening and what you expect from him for the rest of the season.
Well, his impact is instantaneous. Again, I've been in this league a while, and I've seen players come and it takes time to settle in. And he's obviously a high level player, but the human side of it, his ability to immediately pull players together, to have just a natural gravitation to him for dialogue, for spirit, for soccer, everything. I think again those things are are sometimes not recognized enough, but immediately the players have taken him in and he's taken them in, and we talk very candidly about the way we want to play and certainly his role in that. During the game at halftime, he's talking to the group, and again we've had good dialogue, leading up to this game, and he was always going to be a guy that plays in between lines and plays under a striker. So onboarding him, letting him get a feel for us not having a striker. Obviously, we put Cecilio back up there tonight, but his calm and his quality and his ability to now digest the game as it's happening is incredible. The speed at which he sees things happening and stays very calm, but a very high efficiency with it is it's clear. That's why this kid was playing Champions League. He's at River Plate. He's played big clubs, big games, and he has such a positive influence on the group. Cecilio, Alex, Pereira, Rodney Redes, Diego Fagundes. You can see right away Beasley. That side of the field was extremely competent, calm, and delivered a ton of great soccer. And it translates to the other side of the field. So, again, I think it was really nice to see. It was one performance that we'll obviously be proud of as a group, but he's an instrumental player. There's no way around it, and he makes everyone around him better, which is exactly what we thought he would do. And he's a welcomed addition without a doubt.
You mentioned earlier in the season that you thought Diego and Hector, kind of on a different frequency, like they were playing in the schoolyard.
Yep.
It's also that time with Sebastian and Alex.
Yep.
Do you feel that's some of their continental connection you see there with the two of them?
Yeah, I think so. Again, they play those Cecilio, Diego, Alex, Sebastian. Danny, all of them. That's again. We've seen little glimpses against Salt Lake, even when we were down a guy, what they could combine and connect when we're down a guy, and they're able to do it. So we see it in training, and it's nice to see it in the game. It's nice for fans to see it. It's nice, to have it delivered in a game context. But Hector as well. Our subs came in tonight and did a fantastic job. We made a slight adjustment to go to 5, and that stabilized us. But when Sebastian and Hector came in as well, Jared came in, gave a nice calm to the game. And again, it allows us to now get a little more hold of it. But for me, it's about that. It's about the connections, the ability to play through the middle, attract opponents, and then utilize spaces out wide. And the guys did a great job tonight. And we got to keep building. It's one performance, and we're excited by it. But it's one performance. So now we enjoy a couple days, and we'll get ready for Dallas.
Thank you. Looks like we have time for one more, so Mike Craven, go ahead and take the last question.
Coach, they score a goal in the 55th minute. You end up bringing on Johan. I guess what were your thoughts on how the team kind of responded and dug in there in that last 35 minutes?
Yeah, I think that we needed to stabilize it a bit, and I think that did a pretty good job. And they obviously brought in Sebastian Blanco, who's highly talented. They had Mora, Yimi Charo. They got a few guys on the line. They had a few guys central on the line running out of there, and it gave us some problems. So for me, it was again getting another center back in there and allowing us to be a bit more stable. We could deal with wide guys, and obviously if anyone was running off of our back line, we could also step with them or run beyond their line. So it took a little bit, but we got them in there, and it helped. And again, the additions of Sebastian and Jared and Hector as that half went on was really fulfilling. They came in and kind of buttoned things down, and movements, combining, changing their positions, and again they just needed to get their foot on the ball a little bit. And Hector does that all the time, and he makes the game look easy, and he makes the guys around him much better, and he has a very calming effect. And I was happy for Johan as well. Comes in, he gives a nice physical presence. His ability to duel in the channels is tremendous. He displaces strikers, he displaces attackers, and wins his space. We could have been a little bit better building up through a little pressure, but we also need to understand where the game's at. Push up, play long occasionally, and be a little bit more mindful of the scoreline. But I was pleased with how it went in the second half, certainly as we stabilized.
Nice, isn't it, to have that depth to be able to do that? There's been times this year where it didn't feel like you had kind of those options off the bench.
Yeah, it's a good point. It's a good point, and I think that's part of where we're at right now, and also it's taken us a little bit of time to keep shoring up who we are and what the expectations are. But it's always going to be a challenging year. It's always going to be difficult. But we've left some points on the board, I think, in previous games, but we're going to focus on going forward. It's one at a time. I thought Matthew McConaughey called me the other day, and he said it's one in a row, man. Start with one in a row, and you'll see after that, one in a row becomes two. So our guys will be pretty excited by the result. Now we got to go for two in a row.